That is hilarious. Her daily I'm good. Okay.
There she is. How are you?
Season of live next. I'm really feeling this. Having a conversation. Yeah, exactly. I know. Do you have a secret? Don't worry about So wait, we did staff interviews or yeah, we'll just have to like July 1st. Okay, sounds good. Okay, I gotta go. Bye. How are you?
Thank you everybody for being here today. We got a big group. We're real grateful that you're here. We'll start off with a couple opening remarks from head coach Kenny Brooks, and then we'll pop around for questions.
All right, first I tell my wife how many people were here, I want to have proof. So. First and foremost, thank you guys for coming out. Very exciting time for us, basketball season, fall. You know, you just smell basketball in the air. So appreciate you guys coming out. For me, it's been a heck of a 6 months. Whirlwind, to say the least. But I think the biggest thing is just the welcoming from Big Blue Nation, you know, and how everyone's been so interested in what we're doing, welcoming to Lexington, and just the Big Blue Nation has been awesome. And, you know, and I'm very proud of what we've done in 6 months. Put together a roster, this day and age, freedom of movement, sometimes you got to start all over. And we went out and we went in the portal, and we didn't want to always just get the best players. We want to get the right players. Players that can come in and represent this university, our program, help us start something special. And I thought, you know, we did a really good job of assembling a really good roster. And it's a group of great kids who just work. How good they are, I don't know how good they're going to be. I do know that right now, as we speak, I am undefeated, so that's a good thing. But I really am excited about their progress and their potential. They go out and they work hard every day, and what they don't know, they ask questions, and they want to continue to get better. So it's been a really good couple weeks to begin the season. A lot of new faces. I think with the exception of Georgia and Clara Strack, no one knows anything about anyone, but they're working hard to get to that point. And the camaraderie is tremendous. They've been working hard. And I think we're going to put a product out there that, you know, that's going to excite Big Blue Nation. I don't know how good we'll be in the beginning, but I do know that we'll make everyone proud because we're going to work really, really hard. And we're going to progress to something that I think that's going to be very, very special. So very excited for that, very excited for the future. And it's been a really good couple weeks. So.
Mind just to raise your hand and we'll call on you. We'll start in the back.
Hey, Coach. Coming here, I mean, you already obviously have tons of high-level women's basketball experience, but what was something maybe that you had to learn when you got here, something that maybe caught you off guard early on?
That my disguises don't work when I'm walking around the summit, at the mall. And honestly, we had tremendous success, as you mentioned, at Virginia Tech. Blacksburg was a little bit different. I was able to walk around in obscurity, and I could just do whatever. Here, it doesn't matter where I go, no matter where I am, someone's going to come up and talk about the excitement surrounding, just basketball in general at Kentucky. And it's been very welcoming, very welcoming. People will come up to me, and they'll just talk about the excitement, talk about, they saw one of my kids at PetSmart or at Target or somewhere, and just the approachability that we've created with our kids. So we want to continue that, but just the excitement. Big Blue Nation's a little bit different, and everyone wants a piece of it, and they watch it. And it's funny, I come here, and I don't watch a lot of TV, no offense. I'm always watching film. But there's obviously a lot of outlets here because everyone says, I saw you on TV. I saw you on TV. I saw you this and here. But it's been very welcoming for me.
We'll go to Matt in the back.
Two questions. One kind of about this year, and then one sort of structurally. You've been around great teams. You know what the talent is, et cetera. You said you weren't sure how good you'd be this year. Like, where do you see this team just in the grand scheme of teams, like the talent level, et cetera? And then two, is there anything here structurally that you think could compete, stop you from playing for a Final Four national championship?
Well, the comparison, you're always wondering because this time of the year you keep going against each other. So if your offense is good, your defense must be bad. If your defense is good, your offense must be bad. And so there's been a lot of comparison. I've gone back and watched film of previous teams, previous really good teams. And the only thing I do know is that I know that the little monster we have at the point guard position is really good. And when you have a like football, if you have a good quarterback, you got a chance. And we've got a really good point guard. We have a chance. Everyone else is just young, young in their experiences, young with their new positions, and young with their new expectations. We have a young lady, Clara Strack, who I don't know if anybody saw her last year. She was pretty much a backup to an All-American last year, and she didn't get a whole lot of time. But then when Liz Kitley went down, she stepped up, and I think she averaged 18 and 10 in the NCAA tournament. And I think she's continued on that stretch. And so she provides that. I just have to see it, consistently. And so that's just the understatement. You just don't know how good you're going to be because you're going against each other. As soon as we have some live tape against someone else, then you can start figuring out how you're going to be. But I love the potential. We had a lineup in practice the other day. I've never had this before. I've never seen it before. We had Georgia at the point guard spot. And then we had Amelia Hessett at the 2, and she's 6'3.5". At the 3 spot, we had Tiani Key, who was 6'4". At the 4 spot, we had Clara Strack, who was 6'5", and then we threw Clara Silva in at the center at 6'7". And that's a really tall team for a lot of men's mid-major programs. And so for us to be able to put that out there, have that capability, it's a lot of fun. And then structurally here, Kentucky is Kentucky. And that's why I came here to have an opportunity, be part of a blue blood, and to be able to go and compete on a national stage consistently. And that's something that I desired as a competitor. You always want to beat the best, you want to be the best, and you want to sustain it. And I think we have the opportunity to do it here. Obviously, this building with the upgrades has really put us on a position to attract high-level recruits, along with the reputation of Kentucky, along with what we've done in the past as a coaching staff. So the sky's the limit for us, and that's something that I wanted. I wanted that opportunity, and I think that we can get it here.
If you can remember this order, we'll go Caroline, Tanya, Michael, Larry.
Hi, Coach.
How are you?
You spoke to the idea of gradual improvement over the course of the season, but have you and the team sort of sat down and defined what success might look like or feel like in year one?
No, we haven't. But I do think that, in this day and age of instant gratification, I think we all want it fast, and I think it even so much so that, whether it's Instagram or whether it's the transfer portal or whether just expectations of putting together, new teams. My first year at Virginia Tech, you had pretty much inherited a group and you had to play with that group for a while because when you got transfers in, they had to sit out a year. Now with the transfer portal, you can recreate, new teams. I think, I don't even know, Coach Pope, do they have any players that were left over from last year? I'm not sure. None? So there's two in this program, Cassidy Rowe and Sinai Tyler. So the expectation is success quicker. But I think when you still, it's my job to mentor, my responsibility to teach these kids, and there's no shortcuts. So I don't want to put a number on it. I don't want to put a destination on it. I just want them to get better every day. We do most things organically. We want to make sure, our leadership is organic leadership. It's not, hey, we're going to put people in groups and get to know each other and, in 5 minutes and we're going to develop a leader. It's got to come over a course of a season. So if we can just focus on getting better every day, then I think we have a shot to continue to get better throughout the year, and then we'll just see what happens from that point.
Coach, you've been with this group just for a short period of time, but overall, what stands out the most to you about them as a whole?
They're great kids. They're a little bit too introverted for my liking. I wish that it's kind of crazy because you don't really want wild people, but on the court, I want them to be a little bit wilder. But they are great kids, and they work very hard, and they're pleasers. Attitudes, they're not attitudes, they're good attitudes. They work really hard, and they just want to please. They want to please each other. They want to please the coaching staff, and that's something that you can always work with. So when you have that mentality, we can go out, we can try different things, we can try things that are unconventional, and they'll have a good attitude in trying to get to it. But it's been a very pleasant couple weeks, a couple months being with them, and I think it's going to continue to grow.
Penny, Michael Epps with Fox 56. It's kind of a rare situation where the returners don't really return a lot. I mean, they got a new coach, new scheme, new building, right? But they still return that SEC experience. So how much are you going to rely on them and them too? How big is their role going to be?
It's going to be big. And, Cassidy, I tell the story a lot when I met with, each and every player from last year's team. Some of them were already in the portal. And Cassidy, when she started talking about her experiences here, I swore when she started crying, it was blue tears. And I'm like, man, this kid had me, she had me at hello just because she knew how much she loved Kentucky. And we've been pulling off of those experiences, because as newcomers, I know what Kentucky is from an outsider, but I'm like, why? Why Kentucky? Everybody says this is Kentucky, and I'm asking her why. And, she stuttered and stammered a little bit, and that was enough for me. She was just everything. She cried, she talked about it, and she's been great here. And what she may lack in height or anything else, she makes up for it with her pride of Kentucky. And so she's been a big plus for us. She's been great in practice. She's been very communicative. She's talking. And then Sanaya, we call her ST, has had probably the most experience, and there's been plenty of times when, I've played against SEC teams, but I'm asking her for the longevity part of it. Hey, well, isn't this league this, or is this league that? And she's been able to share some of her experiences with me too. So ironically, we actually played against both of them when they were freshmen, and we got to play against them. But just to watch their growth and what they've been able to provide for us is it's been really big and important for us.
Coach, kind of two parts here. One, if you said Georgia is a monster, then what would that make Silva inside with her side? And then could you also explain what you meant by wanting to be a little wilder on the court, just so we understand that?
Yeah. I think we have such polite kids. I'll get to that part first. One of them will make a tremendous move and they'll get fouled, and they'll look at the other one and they'll just kind of like look at them, and it's almost like, pardon me, excuse me, when I want them to say, and one, or just a little bit of a, hey, you can't guard me, in a very nice way, in a very nice way. We're never going to show up our opponent, but we want them to know, a little bit that we're pretty good. And so, but they're coming around. They're coming around. We haven't had any drills where we're practicing trash talking yet, but we're just trying to get them to show their personalities a little bit more. And so it's been a lot of fun with that. And then Clara Silva, bless her heart, she had a tremendous summer. She played international basketball, was voted one of the top players in her age group. There's been plenty of websites who said that if she was American, she probably would have been a top 10 player coming out in the high school class. And but then she gets here 2 days before classes start, and she's having to get acclimated to a whole new life. We had the rain for a few days, and she was like, "What is this?" She's Portugal. They don't have that. And so she's getting used to not only the style of play, the language, the food, everything, and still go out and compete. So the other freshmen have been here all summer. And so, it's just going to be a work in progress for her because it's just a totally different style. But she's as skilled as any player that I've ever had at that position. She's taller than any player that I've ever had at that position. And she's the one that if we get her talking a little bit of smack, everybody's going to be in trouble, But she's a joy. She's a joy to have around. And I think Kentucky fans are going to be in for a treat over the next 4 years, being able to cheer for her.
You had a couple injuries last year since you guys got here.
Yeah.
Are they available? Are they?
No. Yeah. No. Obviously, Jordan Obi, transfer from Penn. She was going to be a really big part of our development. 5th-year senior, big, strong guard. Gave us the opportunity to be versatile. We could have played her at the 3, the 4, and she would have been, we could have played big, we could have played small. So she's going to be out probably until January, and then there will be a reevaluation of her situation. And then Dom, I think it's been documented, she tore ACL in international play. 2, she would have been a 6-foot guard that would have given us experience. She went to the Elite 8 last year. I think she was a 6th man on that team, very productive. She also would have given us the opportunities to play big, play small. And but both of them have been very active in practice. Whether it's been cheering, we're keeping them involved, and they've both been doing extremely well in rehabbing. And so they'll be definitely a big part of our future. Which is kind of gave us an opportunity as we go into recruiting. We have a cushion because we know that those 2 will have the opportunity to come back next year and strengthen our team as well.
We'll close out with Keith and Mark, and then we'll go talk to the players.
Coach, when it comes to Big Blue Madness, what's your excitement for that? How much are you relying on, Shania and Cassidy to help you with learning what it's about?
Yeah, it's kind of sneaking up on me because every day somebody tells me something else I have to do. And I'm no stranger to it. Obviously, it's legendary, and people have been very excited about it. And I do know that I'm not riding out in a motorcycle. Yeah, I'm not dropping down from the rafters. And I think they hired me to be a coach, and they wanted me to be an entertainer. They got the wrong person. So I don't know. 24,000 cheering for you. I might come out of character a little bit and do something, but it's exciting. Obviously, you look across the country, and we have an eye on things because we have recruits that go to other places that try to emulate Big Blue Madness. But I think what we do here, the way it's done here, is legendary. At Virginia Tech or at James Madison, I saw Big Blue Madness, and that's one that you felt like was one of the best ones. The best one, and anything else is just imitation. So I'm excited to be a part of it. I don't have my fit yet. That's one thing of having a daughter on the team. She is going to be on me because she says she doesn't want to have secondhand embarrassment. So she's pretty much gonna. So whatever I walk out in, she has to approve it, and so it's kind of a little bit of pressure there.
Kenny, Mark, Story, Lexie, how leader, two questions, I guess. Your expectations for Lexie Blue, and then in Georgia's case, she's playing without Kitley now. How big an adjustment is that going to be for her, and kind of What are your expectations for her in handling that?
First of all, Lexie has the best name in Big Blue Nation history. You know, I got the blue part when we first got her to commit, and I'm like, why is everybody saying it's the best? I get the blue part, but Lexie, okay, Lexington, I got it. But expectations for her, you know, because of the injuries, it's been a little bit more. We need a little bit more from her. Any freshman, you know, you want to try to ease them into the situation, but now she's going to be thrust into the situation because she's going to have to step in and produce for us in a way that the other two probably would have. And obviously she's going to make some mistakes, but I think she's had a really good camp so far. She's shooting the ball well. She's learning the intricacies of you know, defense at this level, and but her attitude has been tremendous. So we're going to continue to thrust her into situations and make her feel a little bit uncomfortable so that she can become comfortable later on. And but we have all the confidence that she's going to be great for us. And then Georgia, you know, Georgia's situation, she got a little bit of a taste of it when Kitley went down last year. One of the best games I ever saw her play. When Kitley got hurt in the UVA game, I'll be honest with you, I was messed up because I knew what she had done, and before anyone else did, and we were still in that game. And I remember being in a fog, and then Georgia just kept us around, and she looked at me and she says, I got this. And she went up and scored 39 points against UVA. Now, we ended up losing the game, but it wasn't because of her efforts. And then she was able to, you know, just adjust from, hey, I'm the facilitator, to, hey, I'll be the lead person. And I think she's had a whole summer. She had a tremendous summer. She got to practice with the Opals, her national team in Australia. So she got good competition there. She went out to the Kelsey Plum camp when she got, you know, good opportunities there, and then she went to the Nike Academy. So she got a lot of good basketball nationally, playing against the best of the best, to shift her focus. Hey, I have to be the main person. So now when she comes off of a screen and roll, instead of really looking for Liz as option one, option two, you know, now she's becoming option one, and then, you know, other people are becoming option two. So, you know, she's my little mini-me. We're joined at the hip. We watch film like we would watch Netflix, and we just go, and we're on the same page. And it's really fun watching her bring up the younger players to get them